his daughter if we could use one of her drawings, and because we felt it would fit your segment really well. Yeah, because this one, right? You saw it already, and this drawing here she drew several years ago, but it just felt like it that you might like it. So
I like it a lot.
Is there any questions that you might have for the report, or anything you might feel stressed about that we can?
No, I have everything typed on my phone. I didn't get to like write it on a notebook, but it's in order, so I'm excited.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I definitely was like kind of like a struggle to get that first episode up because they made a bunch of like new restrictions. We finally got through all the steps because we just recently opened up a new YouTube account. So
okay,
all that stuff, but it will be fun, and Chief is here.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Saiyr.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
So this is the official first paranormal report.
Yeah.
And so
actually second.
I guess second, yes. The
official second.
Official second.
Yes.
But the first Saiyr the Seer.
Saiyr the Seer
report. So I know that you talked about you sent some information having to do with some antics going on around the house and so on. And I think we can start with that first. You can just fill me in on what's been happening.
Okay, so I have it in my usual list, but today, specifically today, I felt heavy running, and I heard the footsteps running up behind me to my back. And so I've been containing. It kind of feels like they're just pestering me or trying to see if they can get a rise out of me. So Nellie also has been hearing the footsteps. They're really, really heavy. They always choose the opposite level. So if we're upstairs, then it's downstairs. And if we're downstairs, then they're upstairs. So last night we decided to do an energy slap together. And when we did that, something downstairs fell. It was like really funny to us.
Yeah. Because they are a joke, literally. You know, it's what it's. What I hope this will show individuals who are watching this, that there's really nothing to be afraid of with these individuals. You know, things like to play these games where, you know, if you can't see them or in the dark or whatever, it's all programming from the system to be afraid of things that you shouldn't really be afraid of. And yeah, by using my tools, so you said you felt something, you heard something fall down when you both slapped it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's effective targeting, and as I was saying, you know, it's about your intent. You know, so it's not like you have to really just, you know, I see him over there. It's like, whoever this is, I got your signature. Bam! There you go. So great. So did it stop, or did they just kind of like, you know, figure maybe this is an anomaly to them, and that they decided they're going to start up again, or?
Yeah, they usually just start up again. And then another thing that happened tonight was we switched our bedroom light bulb. So it's a fresh new light bulb, and it flickered. I think it was while we were talking about me getting ready for this report. So it was funny to me that it flickered. And then when I'm taking a shower, I'll see white orbs that are starting to have like human features run past the shower to kind of like spook me. So I'll contain, and then I'll look into the reflection of the glass shower door, and it's like my face is constantly shape-shifting, like they're trying to find a mask that's gonna like spook me. And so I have to contain it, but if the energy is like too much, I'll put the towel over my reflection and then contain it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, pretty much similar to what I say about covering mirrors. Yeah, as you just surmised, that it's about them trying to spook you. They really don't have any juice. And when you start to use the tools, even then, what did you do when you started to see the faces morph? You just observed, or did you try to contain or do another energy slap?
So usually when I see the faces, I try to observe it for a little bit to show myself like there's no reason to be scared. And then I'll contain it. And then after I contain, I'll do an energy slap.
Okay, good. So when you, what was the results after you did that?
After I did that, it stopped and went away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So I definitely know that it's something external that's, obviously focusing on it, as from your sessions, that there's certain individuals, and one particular individual who has been focusing and are very, very stubborn about you actually freeing yourself from that situation. But what I can do during this, I can just zero in on them. I don't think they know. It's like they're really stupid. So if it's just a session, they just figure, oh, he does these things during session, and sometimes they try to run off and hide somewhere before you get started, before we make a connection on the phone. So with this, they figure it's something else. They don't really see it as this something similar to what I normally do when I track them down and handle them. So what we're going to do, since they seem to be wanting to be really, really busy, I'm going to use a part of this to hunt them down and nail their butts. So, okay, so Ms. A, we're going to just, start that, and then, you're going to do your usual, great empathing and so on, and, and tell me what you're sensing, or even what you're seeing when I hit these knuckleheads. Okay, so let's go.
I also have more to the things that I've experienced with them kind of pestering me. Did you want me to wait until after this part?
No, you can actually tell me that as well.
Okay. So all this stuff is usually when I'm home alone. One thing that I experienced is sometimes when the kitchen faucet is on hot or the shower is on hot, the water will turn instantly cold on me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have to reset the water.
Oh, okay.
Or just kind of like leave the water alone because it'll take too long to get hot again.
Yeah.
And then knocking over things. It had knocked over a garment off of my dresser after I had put it there.
Okay. Yeah. Again, this is their usual little scare tactics. Again, they're basic cowards.
Yeah.
So, anything that's just trying to creep you. And they're just dumb. It's as though they have a book and there's only limited tricks in their book. So if that doesn't, work, they said, well, it's always worked before. Yeah, as you can tell, they're getting a little rattled behind this. And I love it when they get rattled because it just makes it that much more fun when they just kick their butts. So anyway.
Yeah, my body has been jittering ever since you got onto the screen. And I know it's not me. It's more, it kind of feels like fear, but not my fear.
Yeah. Yeah. Are these suckers trying to touch me? Is that so? You begging? Huh? You begging? Idiots. All right. So you're just going to, well, I don't think I need to tell you to tap in. You're already tapped in. So. So what's going on right now, other than maybe some discomfort, the noise of, using the sound of Ms. A's foot to try to rattle. And right now, a ringing is starting to build up on the right side of me.
Yeah, my right ear has a lot of pressure right now. I've also been hearing a lot of.
Yeah, can you repeat that because they're banging?
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying my right ear is starting to build up a lot of pressure right now, but I've also been hearing a lot of high-pitched noises that hurt for me to like listen to it, so I have to contain. Another thing that did happen, Nellie and I always make sure we lock our front door, and we had went to sleep and we woke up in the morning and the bottom lock was unlocked and nothing came up on our camera. So
came up on your camera?
yeah, we have like a camera in the front and nothing, no human popped up on the camera.
Yeah. So I know that there's a lot of individuals who have taken, well, they have those home security, CCTV cameras in their houses, and they end up sometimes picking up some movement, even if you don't see anything. Excuse me, in the house. So just experiencing something very similar to that. A lot of the activity has to do with their food supply, or the ability to sustain whatever they feed off of individuals seems to not be able to sustain them anymore. So they've been ramping up their activity on that level. But we also have, individuals who have been locking you down for a long time, and all of a sudden, I've yanked the chains and broke the chains, and they still don't quite get it, but they will get it. They will get it. That they need to just find something else to do until I actually get them and delete them, permanently. But when they show up, I will be deleting them permanently. And these ones that I am tapping into right now, guess what, guys? It's all over. What are they saying?
Denial issues, that density isn't as strong as they thought it was.
Well, why am I still standing here after all these years?
They don't know that either.
Stupid. That's just a rope. You don't want to see it? I can make you open your eyes. Watch. Look at the reel.
No.
Look at the reel, stupids. All right. So usually at certain, I know that you were when we were talking about it previously about the walking around, heavy walking and so on, that you said that it was happening at a certain time of the night before.
Yeah, it usually starts at 12 a.m.
Okay, so it's almost like they have a little schedule, which when they start their activities. And again, sometimes they do the schedule thing just to get people a little, tense, because they're expecting something weird is going to happen. So I know that you've been, very much using the tools that I have given you to use. So I don't know if I asked you about when they're walking around, what kind of, are you doing containment? Are you doing slaps? Are you using the other tools that I have given you to use?
I'm using all the tools, every single one. I want to make sure that I get everything and all the tools. It makes me feel better when I use all the tools, like being thorough.
Yeah, good. Yeah, well, that seems to be part of your modus operandi. You've been quite a thorough person. So, yeah, they really, and I don't know if you can see it. It's, when there's an impasse, they try to take over her body, and then right now they're trying to scratch me, and then, you see the hands going up, trying to pull on my shirt and so on and so forth. You guys really.
It's almost like very petty, like, stop it. You stop, like that.
Yeah, like a big.
like you're gonna do something. I'm like, I guess because they're afraid to just because then they'll really get.
I have no compassion. I really don't. You really need to understand that about me. I have none. So we may end up getting a little bit of a conversation going on here with the idiots. Yeah, we got a purge going on. Hitting the point, hitting the mark. Come on, bring it up here. Hey, who are you working for? But you don't work for yourself. You're too dumb to work for yourself.
We work for at least two.
You work for two entities. These entities are doing the bidding for whom? Okay, for folks may believe that if it's loud enough to be heard, because we're not going to implicate anything that so that they'll get even more riled. Which means to get more riled, they get more pain, and they do feel pain. They really do. Now, if they jump into a person's avatar body, you flick that body, they feel it. They feel that stuff. And even with that. My intent is very, very strong. Therefore, I make them feel pain even when they're not in another person's body. So they think that they can, avoid that sensation, but they can't. So, seems like they're weakening already. Okay, let's zero in on the walker. The one that likes to walk around, or the one that like to walk around. So, do any of the things sound like they're just walking, or sometimes stopping and stomping?
Yeah, it's a variation. Sometimes it's running, walking, stopping, stomping, just being very, very obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
I've been containing while we've been talking because my computer cord just got yanked to the ground, and then the room has been like creaking as if like they're standing in the corner.
Is this right now?
Yes.
Oh, welcome. Now you're stuck. Okay. You're going to just sense what's going on. Hello. Come on. I have no choice but to go with that. I have control over you. Yes. Yes. I have control.
Yeah, I'm a lot of watchers.
Join the party, watchers. You might feel a little crowded in the room, but that's okay. I'm going to empty it out really soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Lesson to be learned. Oh, I think they were trying to ramp up a scary laugh, but they kind of had a second thought about it. I'm going to hit you, you idiots. And I'm going to hit you so hard that the person who sends you will feel it. Right in the gut. So, again, practicing energy slap. And you're going to do that with me.
Okay.
On 3, we're going to go. I'm going to target. And you're going to target whatever it is. So they're trying to like make noise, which means I'm going to hit you harder. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Want to play, boys? Want to play, the watchers? Come on in. Nobody needs to. Okay, here we go. We got ourselves a group. I'm gonna teach you a group energy slap, which means it's going to literally, your intent is everything standing around in your sphere, in earshot, eye shot, sense shot, which means sense means whoever could be like 1,000 miles away, focusing on you with this crap will feel this. Okay, we're gonna do on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Very good. As just to explain to the audience, when you're coughing, purging means I'm hitting whatever is trying to, in other words, infest your energy. And when you're coughing, I hit it so hard, we hit it so hard, I got you, training you to hit them as well. They're popping out. And when every time there's a cough, they're on their way to the vortex of no return, to non-existence. So, and Ms. A empathing their pain and their sorrow, and the fact that they can't believe that this realm that they've had, been running rampant over for who knows how long is coming to an end. That no one is supposed to be able to smack them. Not only do I have an intense, energetic hit, I'm teaching you how to, get your energy ramped up and focused so that you actually affect them. So you may not be able to send them as far as I send them, but it hurts.
Thank you, Chief.
So it makes them very uncomfortable for them. They think, oh, we got her dossier, we got her file, man, she's an easy touch, but you've been training. It's like someone who was getting beat up by the bullies in school, and then over summer vacation, they go into boxing training. Then when they come back to school, oh, it's a light touch. Hey, and then you just show them your stuff. So I know that there's one other tool that you know of, which tools that I manifest, and that's what I say is I manifest I like the one story having to do with you were in, I don't know if it's a dream state where you end up visiting a certain person, I'm not going to say his name, and you were in that realm because you are an NSTHA Seer, and you started to move things around so you can get a better view of what you were looking at, and that particular individual didn't like it. And you said that this thing was to come up and try to scare you, and then you whipped out your weapon and Now, if you want, you can actually talk about that. You don't have to say what the relationship is to that particular individual, but I'd like for you to just reiterate that story.
Okay. So, growing up as a kid, I was around an individual a lot who would get possessed, and a lot of the times they would do a lot of like creepy, scary things. One day, we were in the living room. They turned off the living room light. Their eyes rolled back and turned like a whitish gray, and the individual's voice started to change and speak a different language, and I instantly knew to run. And so I locked myself in the bathroom. There are other individuals there who were also afraid, and I opened the bathroom door, and one individual was being dragged down the hallway, and I felt like it was my job to save them. So I waited a little bit because the possessed individual was on all fours while dragging the other individual, and they took the other individual to the basement. Sorry, it's kind of heavy because now that I had that dream about it and I was able to like see it and stuff, it's kind of like as I'm talking about it, I'm kind of like reliving it, but in a different type of way. And then so the thank you, I feel way more calm now. The possessed individual was in the living room holding another individual, and he was just kind of stuck there like a statue. And so I just zipped right by him and went to the basement, and I went down the basement to find the other individual who was put down there, and I found the person. It was in complete darkness. I took him to the downstairs bathroom, locked the door, turned on the light, and then the possessed individual came downstairs and was scratching the door, talking in different voices, and then saying, "I'm going to get you." And then the longer we stayed quiet and didn't move, the possessed individual went back up the stairs, and we had to wait, I believe, like an hour or two for another individual to come home to get us out of the basement.
Okay. All right. So again, there are individuals who have had experiences very much similar to that, and and if they're, this is a place where you can actually talk about it and get information as to what was going on. As you had gleaned, that individual was probably into opening himself up to possession anyway, and individuals who do that is, to, I guess, to try to get power or money and so on and so forth. And the density that they allow into them have no respect, and actually will give you a little something, but they decide whether they're going to honor, whatever the contract is. So, it's not like they sit there and then, they sign their names, but it's even just an agreement that I will allow you in so that I can get more of whatever material wealth, sometimes control over other people, and so on and so forth. And this individual, I think you have told me that this individual tended to do what they call black magic or dense magic.
Yes.
And, so there are times when they think that they're under control themselves, but this thing said you signed a contract, which means I can take you over whenever I want to. So also these type of people will offer up things to that other side, to those entities. And those entities value the most is the essence from, from people, literally. Because one, they can't produce their own, so they have to feed. It's like vampires, who have to feed, and that's really what they are. They're like parasites and vampires, or whatever else you want to call, who feed on, on the essence of others. So they're essence feeders, and then there are a lot of people, including the one who allowed himself to be possessed, is and was, or is, I should say is if he's still around, in this illusion, is an essence feeder himself. So, it was a great story, and it's good because I wanted to get a little bit of history with my paranormal investigators who were in training, and that's a good story. I like that one. And anyone who wants to think that it's a bunch of nonsense, challenge me. I can prove to you from here that this isn't BS. But the only ones who will try to do that are those who are inundated with density themselves, or they're the walking density themselves, that they don't even know whether they're coming or going. So again, yeah, you're able to look at it again. I did put containment, around you to protect you from that vibration, that that intent that comes from that other side. So, and you did say that you felt a lot better after I did the containment while you were telling me the story. So at this particular point in time, it is in the middle of the night. So
Yeah.
And you said, I don't want to gloss over something you said a few minutes back, that you felt there was something in the corner while we were doing this.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you feel? Do you feel anything in the room right now?
No, the energy is very light. I'm starting to get used to seeing orbs just like flying around the house. Sometimes it's like the twinkle, and then sometimes I get different color orbs. And then I know when it's like the black specks or orbs usually pop up after I contain a noise or something that I saw. And they'll just like zip around the like room until I keep containing them.
Okay, so we'll see if these are things that, well, it sounds like they're in response to you're fighting them and you're hitting them. So I would say maybe the black orbs this time definitely will, I'd say, represent the density and upset about it, knowing that you can see, but they're having a hard time with you having less and less fear of them. And is that true? You're having less and less fear?
Yes, I'm having less and less fear. I'm going to be honest, when I agreed to do the paranormal investigation report, my sight became more intense.
Mm-hmm.
And to where how I used to experience things as a child, where it's I can see it, I can hear it, or just the vibration of when I used to use my sight, it brought out like a new fear, or like a feeling of fear. And so I've been trying to like push through it and contain and be like, well, I agreed to this, so there's no time to have any fear, and like this is a safe space.
Well, I would say that it is a safe space as long as you're part of my movement. You are always going to be protected. The wrapping up is more of light beings or behind that. So you're wrapping it up, but also you're wrapping it up, and you're in a I should say a arena, with with myself, I should say. I would just say, talk about psychic warriors, and I think I might have mentioned that, calling you guys who are part of the forums, psychic warriors in training, and and some even more, advanced than some of the others who joined the forum. So that's also your training as a paranormal investigator. You're also just reconnecting you to the warrior aspect of yourself that has always been a part of you, that has been literally, they try to block that, that memory or that sense of yourself, and it's coming to the fore. So yeah, with this sight, more sight, and with the tools, there's no need to fear. And so, they're going to try certain things, but do they actually try to lay hands on you? That's the question.
No, they don't. And which I realized too when I was a teen and a kid and having these abilities, they would actually touch me or like scratch me and I'll have bruises. And I had to remind myself like that's before I met you and before you allowed me to use your tools. And so it's kind of like separating my old experiences and like embracing what's going on now.
Which is good because they will try to use past memories to bring, numbers try to make past memories seem like the present, even if you've moved forward. The attacks that have been, they've tried persistently to attack you, but every time they attack, they get weaker. As you know, with the applied kinesiology, the muscle test does not lie. Mm-hmm. And they're getting weaker. So what happens when certain things get weaker, they start to gather all their little troops, and then they try to make a push forward in hopes to break down the wall and one final push. And that final push may take a little while, but in the end, every time you fight back, they keep losing members because when I hit permanently. I don't chase things away, so they can run around, either jump on someone else or come back. They will never come back. And that's what my tools are about. Every time you hit, send it to the vortex, no return. That's it for them. But some will come back and try to mimic, you're somebody else. Yeah, you can't fool me, you smell different. So that's literally what's been going on. Every time you hit them, you literally do damage using the tools that I've given you to use. And serious damage. But they don't want to, because they want doubt. They want you to doubt what you're doing. And see the little, don't claw me, that hurts. No, like, get out of here. So literally, this is what they are. They're a joke to me. And I'm taunting you guys, yes. All you little, people who think you're little sorcerers and witches and so on and so forth, getting all mad and so on, bring it. Been saying this for a long time. I know what you are. I'm teaching my psychic warriors what you are.
Sun goes down, the moon comes out, shadow things start moving about. Not so distant sounds appear, they're coming here to drink my fear. Ancient masters come about, I learn how darkness can be round. Numbers guide and faces known, come